Okay, well, first of all, I'd like to start off saying thank you to our student body. All the student tickets are sold out for Utah State. We talk about being one Tennessee, and when most places their student attendance, their student ticket sales are down, at Tennessee we're selling out our student section. And now we need to make this a regularity within Neyland Stadium. But I want to say thank you to them. Really appreciate all their support, and I look forward to this season venturing on this journey with them. So with that, I'll answer any questions you may have.
Coach, how did you think the tempo and the energy level of practice were today?
I was very pleased. I thought the last 2 days we've come out with a focus, with a purpose, and you know, and that just hasn't started once we've hit the field. It's also been in the team meetings, it's been in the position meetings. So I like the way we've approached the week. But you know, everything, you have to deserve victory, you have to earn victory. Great practices, as we talk about, championship teams have championship practices, but now you have to be able to take the practice to the field and execute. But I like so far this week of preparation. I think our older players have done a tremendous job of really mentoring the younger players of what it is to be in season and the intensity that it takes in which to prepare yourself to play winning football on game day.
Talk about mentorship. Kirk and AJ specifically, what has their leadership meant to such a young team?
Well, it's meant a lot, and the great thing is now other leaders are starting to you know, come into play, because they've kind of set the tone, and so they're bringing others along with them, and that's the form of leadership.
You talked about Utah State's linebackers yesterday, just in particular Kyler Fackrell.
Yeah.
What challenges does he pose?
Many challenges. Really good football player, very active, physical, can play sideline to sideline. And again, they have a lot of players who have gained a lot of notoriety and a lot of national attention, and they deserve that. They have my respect.
What makes them good schematically on defense?
Well, I think they run a scheme that you don't see very often. You know, with the 3 down and the shades and the different things that they do, and some of the different schemes that they do on 3rd down, and they're going to challenge us, and we understand that, and we have to prove that we can handle that. But you know, they're very active. They have very good team speed, and it's not just the scheme, but I think it's the scheme coupled with the quality of players that they have make them extremely difficult.
Coach, normally when we hear that kind of talk, you wonder if the quarterback can manage it all. But you guys in this situation, you worry about the line as much, you know, getting all the right calls, more so maybe than Justin?
Well, yeah, it's you know, the 5 coming together, but it's more than just them. It's, you know, the side adjustments by the wide receivers, calling out the hots. You know, it's the tight ends, whether, you know, they're in side adjustment mode or they're in pass protection, and the same thing with the running backs. It's, you know, it's all 11 being on the same page, thinking together as one.
Just in general, you've been doing this a long time, but have you ever gone into one and you just didn't know how so many individuals were going to respond?
Well, you know, always the first game, you know, it's a new identity, it's a new football team, new leadership, but you always rely on your past experience, where, you know, we're going to be playing upwards to 28 true freshmen, you know, and that's true freshmen, individuals who just concluded their first week and a half of school. And so again, communication is going to be at a premium, and you know, understanding what they have to do, but they're also very talented and they're excited. So, you know, I'm looking forward to see how they you know, how they perform Sunday night. It's been a long time waiting. You know, I'm sure Utah State feels the same way. You get to a point now where you're ready to play.
Which Kurt, it's been like 2 years since Kurt played. You have to talk to him this week about how to manage his emotions, given that there's going to be a lot of young guys that are looking to him.
Yeah, no, not really. You know, Kurt understands. He's mature beyond his years, and so no, we haven't had to have that talk. He's a very steady individual.
At 28, you think 28 to play over the course of the season, or as soon as Sunday?
Sunday. So we've reviewed the roster. You know, and 28 means special teams, you know, all over. Will 28 play? I can't answer that right now. But right now there could be as many as 28 that actually play Sunday.
Are you including the junior college transfers in that 28? Or
You know, a couple of them no, but you know, some of them are walk-ons that are playing at a scholarship level right now. But you know, again, it is what it is. That's where we're at in the program.
Which I know every year is different, but
you talked about the unknowns going into this game. How much less about this team do you know than you would an average team going into the season? I mean, is it a significant amount less that you know about kind of what to expect?
Well, you learn as time goes on, and when you have a veteran group, you know, you're through a year or two with them. You have spring football. You know, with this football team, you know, half of them came, you know, 14 of them came, you know, in January. And so you have 15 practices with them, that's all. And then the other, you know, more than half of them came, you know, in June or July. And so again, you go through training camp. So we'll have had about 26 practices with them, with this football team. And so much is team chemistry, which, you know, this is, I believe, one of the closest knit groups I've been around in a very long time. And, you know, we talk about team chemistry, you know, and all those things that go into it. But, you know, there's just this football team, there's so many new faces. And again, I'm excited to see how they perform when you turn the scoreboard on and it's for real.
Does that make even more, I guess, contingency plans, backup things go through your head going into a game? Because I know you probably want to, if this happens, you want to do this. Is that a lot more than usual too?
Well, you always have contingency plans and answers and all that, but yeah, you know, you can't assume anything. And I said it, you know, when we started training camp with this team, we're teaching this team, and you can't assume anything from how do they run out of the tee, which sideline do they run to. You know, they've never done it before. So as a coach, you can't assume anything, and you have to put them through anything and everything. But really, when the ball's kicked off and it's for real, you know, you do what you do. You play football. You rely on your instincts and your training, and you know, you go with it. And you have to rely on your discipline.
Having so many new faces, can that be advantageous since Utah State doesn't have any film on so many guys to go on?
Well, I'm sure, you know, they have a great coaching staff. I'm sure that they've done their due diligence. The thing I like is we have a fresh football team. You know, they don't have past experiences in mind. You know, they came here to win football games. They came here to be a part of a great turnaround and get Tennessee football back to its rightful place. And it's going to be a journey. They came here to venture on a journey and be a special group because they're going to be the ones that lay the foundation for future successes. So they don't have any past experiences. You know, their love for Tennessee. You know, we talk about loving the orange, you know, and, you know, we talked about, you know, what they represent on a day-to-day basis of being a Tennessee football player, from the great state of Tennessee to our faculty, to our alumni, to our administration, to our student body, to our fan base. There's a lot of onus on them, and that's the reason why they came here, is they have a passion for Tennessee.
How much of a reality check is it for a guy like Derek Barnett to have a good camp and earn a starting spot? First time you trot out there, you're across the line from Chucky Keaton trying to stop.
Well, it's going to be a great challenge, and not just for Derek Barnett, but, you know, everyone. He's one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the country, and he'll play on Sundays. And so, again, everything is about impacting and containing the quarterback. But let's make one thing clear. It's not just Chucky Keaton. You know, there's a reason why they've won the amount of games that they've won. They're talented across the board. Their defense is a really good defense. They're tough, they're physical, they run to the football, they play angry. You know, and offensively, they have a lot of weapons. You look at their special teams. I always look at the special teams game first. They have dynamic returners. Again, they're very skilled on special teams, fundamentally sound. So it's not just, Chucky Keaton's a great football player, but they're a very, very, very good football team.
Jalen Reeves maybe have a nose for the ball. He seems to always kind of be around it, making big plays, an interception.
Yeah.
Something kind of.
I think Jalen Reeves-Maben is a great illustration of how you want to develop players in your program. You know, Jalen played for us as a true freshman, but he played very limited on defense, but he was one of our best players on special teams. And there's usually a hierarchy. There's usually a progression of a young player and how they develop. And he gained tremendous confidence last year because he excelled on special teams. Now his role has, you know, even grown in terms of now, you know, he's a starter on defense as well. But that's how you develop players. And special teams are absolutely critical. And you watch starting tomorrow, and you watch throughout the course of the weekend of how many games, first games, will be decided by turnovers, by penalties, which is discipline, and special teams. Special teams will be the great equalizer, will be the difference maker in a lot of these games this weekend.
How good of a football mind does he have? That's what I've heard from a lot of his coaches speak. How good is his ability to process things?
Well, again, we always talk about being a student of the game and football intelligence, and he's really improved that. He's spent a lot of time on that. And, it's the ability to take the classroom to the setting. We talk about functional intelligence, and he has that, and he's done a great job. There's still a lot more room for improvement. Are really learning the little nuances of playing linebacker, reading your keys. And football is a reactionary game. There's a lot of individuals that are very smart, but they can't translate it from the classroom to the field. They can get all the answers right in a classroom setting or a walkthrough setting, but when you get on the field and you have to make quick second decisions, and then you put the velocity of the game and the violence of the game and the physicality that's required to play the game, that's a whole nother deal in and of itself, and Jalen's done a great job with that.
How did Evan Berry do impersonating Keaton today?
Well, we've had a lot of people, and it's hard to impersonate him. But Evan has done a great job, and Evan's one of those individuals where every practice he continues to get better and better and better. I was driving home last night thinking about the 32 signees and how much they've progressed, and they're going to be a special class. And like I said, some are ahead of others at this particular moment, but that's every individual is differently. But I'm as encouraged and excited as I've ever been about the future and where we're going.